What up, everybody? You're now tuned into Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. Man, you see the topic. It's not a gift, it's a result. And I got my buddy here, Stein Taylor, my co-host. What's going on,
What's
brother?
going on, homie? When you got a good workout in, now we're finna get into this talk.
We got to get into this talk, man. We got to get into this talk. So I got inspired off of this topic right here. I got this from the great Miles Monroe, listening to one of his sermons, and he was talking about this, and he said, it's not a gift, it's a result. So, you look at something like, so take you for an example. People see you, they see the muscles, they see what you've accomplished, they see the things that you've done. It wasn't a gift, no one woke up and like this just a gift. You even worked at even LeBron James last night. LeBron James dominated the game last night. It wasn't a gift, it's a result of the work that he put in. You can't talk about a guy, somebody being great. You think about anybody who's great, anything that they've accomplished, anything that they've done. Go behind the curtain and see what the work is that they put in and what they're doing to currently maintain what they got going on.
Right, man. Me and my brother have had plenty of conversations about that, because my brother sometimes any videos or whatever, he'll show them to his students or whatever. And so some people, and we've had conversations where people, they'll look at what you do and they see where you at, and they see, they see the body of work, but they don't see all that you went throughout the journey to get there. And they, and I tell people, just because you see somebody who may make something look easy doesn't mean that it is easy to do.
Right.
They've perfected their craft and they've been doing it for so long. It's a part of their routine, like we was talking about earlier, B. They have a method to their madness and what they go through in their day-to-day, and they don't deviate from that. What that does, things over time, what makes a person great. But you got to be willing to put that work in. And sometimes, we live in a world where people don't want to do the hard stuff. They want to do the easy stuff, but they don't want to have to do the hard stuff.
Yeah, and then social media has, it's affected the boys and the girls. They're going to take tremendous losses going into the future because of this, especially if they don't have what parents, mentors, and guidance, and if they're being taught by social media, because social media is like a microwave. All they're showing you is the result. They're not showing you what they went through to get what they got, to maintain what they have. All of a sudden, you just see this person and they have this. You don't know. Shoot, that's like being envious about people's relationships. I notice people always fawn over relationships and their relationship goals and things like that. But do you know what they're doing to maintain it? Do you know what what kind of work they have to put in, what they have to put up with, and the things they have to do in order to have a working relationship? Do you know what they have to do in order to maintain this career, or in order to maintain this physique, in order to maintain a podcast, or maintain, places where things they putting in as far as work, businesses, investments, things like that. Are you understanding the work and the time that it takes to put in to get to the place that these people got? But nope, all you see is the money, the clothes, the ice, the jewelry, the pictures on vacation with the significant other. All you see is the pictures of them all, up. And no, it's a process.
It is a process. It's you talked about the relationship thing, man, and I always I talk to people whose relationship. How did you get to 30 years, 35, 40 years? When I meet couples, because I got couples that I've trained that have been together for 20, 25 years, man.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is success. And I would always ask, like, I just asked a couple just the day. And I was like, how you guys just stay together for a certain period of time? And they was like, and this is a testament to my mother. The first thing she said, because she spoke first, and he's like, yeah, we don't judge each other. That is one of the number one things my mother told me years ago. She said, that's the only way the dynamics of between a man and woman is going to work. There can't be no judgment, so they can be their true, authentic selves. People don't see that, but she did say something. She said that took years of working on that. We had to work on it, and we got better each day. Now, we didn't get there. We didn't say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to judge each other. We worked we worked up to that. When someone made a mistake or someone said something, we would talk about it. We would have these uncomfortable conversations. And she did say something about um, emotional intelligence. She said women are a lot of women think that men are say men they lack emotional intelligence, but it's funny how they say that. It's funny how women say, "Oh, men lack emotional intelligence." No, we lack emotional intelligence when it's not convenient for you to hear what we feel about expressing ourselves. So if you can't, if I come to my woman and I say, I'm trying to express myself about what actually happened. She don't like me expressing myself, but then she wants me to express myself. It can't be at your convenience.
Yeah.
It
Right.
can't be.
Right. No, it can't be at your convenience.
Right.
And competing with one another is another thing.
Right.
Like
Right.
we I have to go out and compete in this world anyway. There's pressure on men to compete. There's pressure on women.
Right.
I mean, as far as just being a woman, there's pressure. So there's pressure on each. So you don't have space for a competition in between the two of you, especially in the home. Anywhere you are in your relationship is supposed to be like a safe space. It's supposed to be a haven. That's how you build it.
Right.
For a lack of a better example, I mean, you take Will and Jada for example. Everybody, oh, relationship goals, relationship goals. Now she pulled back the curtain. She pulled back the curtain. He was like, damn, I don't think that's something I want to be a part of.
Right.
$300 million or not. Nah, I think I'll pass on that one. So, that's why I love this topic, because the work. It all comes back to work, man. No matter what, it's a result. So the result is of the work that you put in. That's why I love sports.
Right.
Me and my girl, we was talking about sports. She's like, why do people love sports so much? The thing I loved about, especially when I coached, I loved the off season. The off season is one of my favorite parts. Like right now, what they're doing, because the games are nothing but a result of the work we put in the off season.
That part. Right. That is so true. And golly, BB went straight to that work. That work part, man. That work part.
Yes.
Golly. She did say this, B. She said, Sean, to have a successful relationship or marriage, you have to have a good work ethic.
Yes.
And I said, can you I was just curious to see what her thought process is. I said, can you expound on that? She's like, I'll let my husband tell you. And so he said, Sean, what the work ethic is that when things ain't going the way I want them to go, when she is being difficult, and I still got to love her through that. Yeah. When I'm being difficult and she has to love me through that. When she's having one of those moments when she is just not who she is, it's almost like you got an alien in front of her.
Yeah.
In front of you. And the same with me. That's the hard, tedious stuff that nobody wants to do. That's the work part. You got to have the good work ethic not to take anything of how this person is personally. Because they're not a robot. My wife's not a robot. I'm a husband. I'm not a robot. I'm a person just like she is. But we never, throughout doing the work, just like you said, baby, we never compete.
Yeah.
We never make the other person feel as if they're less adequate because he's a man and I'm a woman. It's all about me because I'm the woman. And she said, and then she intervened. She said, baby, you mind if I interject? He's like, oh yes. Well, just in that example, you mind if I interject?
Yeah.
I mean, it was so. And I'm sitting here in my studio looking at this like, this shit really does. Oh, excuse me. This really does exist.
Yes.
So I'm sitting here I'm like, wow, it was amazing for her, how much honor and reverence she showed toward him, and just asking, babe, you mind if I interject? And she said, Sean, that's the biggest part that we as women. And sometimes you guys as men, she's but us women, we do too much. We have unrealistic expectations. We don't know how to manage our expectations, and we can have the right man in front of us, but then we want him to be what we want him to be. And I heard a brother break down Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. She didn't want Clark Kent. She wanted Superman, but Clark Kent is emotional. Superman is he lacks emotional intelligence. Clark Kent is attentive. Superman is he attentive here and there.
Uh-huh.
But then she got with Superman. But when she got with Superman, then she wanted him to be Clark Kent.
Yes. Yeah.
She said, you know what? We as women have to accept our man for what they are and who they are, not for what we want them to be. Because majority of men don't try to change his woman. He accepts her no matter how difficult and hard-headed and stubborn. He accepts her right there at face value. But we pick our men apart. She said, I never make him feel less of a man. I never emasculate him in any type of way. And we be in whole relationships and marriages and emasculating our man from day to day and week to week. It was just powerful to hear two people in their just interact like that. And I was just like, man, what a mature relationship, man. And they said it wasn't like that in the beginning. We had to work at it. And that's the part you brought up, that work. That's the part people don't want to do. She said, my advice to all women and all men, if you have a lousy work ethic, if you are selfish, if you do not want to do the work, stay by yourself.
Yeah.
Because going from person to person to person, you still going to have to do the work. Nothing works unless you do the work.
Yeah.
And marriage and relationships are work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Melinda say, you get what you work for, not what you wish for.
Ooh, yeah, that's powerful right there.
Yeah,
that's powerful there.
That's what it is. And one of my favorite sayings, I heard the guy say, he said, men get married hoping the woman doesn't change. Women get married hoping the man changes. And they both usually end up disappointed.
Right.
You know.
And I've never heard that one.
You never heard that one?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
but it's so true.
Yeah. I heard a guy who was married. He had been married and divorced and was in the process of getting married again. And he talked about the mistakes he's made in marriage. And he talked about that. And he was like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But back to work, no matter what it is, you can't get around work. Because work is going to show the result that you get. And what people want today is seemingly equal outcomes is what they want. They don't want equal rights. They don't want necessarily equal share, diversity, inclusion, and things like that. They preach for that and they say that and they want that. But what it's really about is they want equal outcomes. They want the same outcome that you got, and they only want to put in not even a third of the work, a tenth of the work. Like they don't even want to put in the same work. They want to get the same result someone got who's putting in the work without having to put in said work. And it's crazy. Like I'm not understanding. Like I mean, if somebody had figured that out, if you broke the code. Anybody who's broke the code on figuring that out, let us all know because we would love to know.
I sure would. God, that was a good breakdown. That was a good breakdown, man. That was a very good breakdown. But again, man, my mom used to always say, what she said, you ain't entitled to nothing. You're only entitled for what you work for. And I've been saying that for years. And my thing about it is, if I don't have a thing, then I don't deserve a thing because I'm not even putting in the work. So I'm not going to sit up there and complain about the results the lousy results I'm getting for the work I'm not doing.
Yeah.
So and a lot of people do that, especially in fitness. And I tell people, I said, listen, man, I don't know a lot of things. I said, but I know fitness in and out, from education, from experience, from falling in love with it at 11 years old. And nothing is going to come from it unless you do the work. Even if a woman go get snuck, plucked, tucked, and snatched, in order to sustain it so the symmetry doesn't look horrendous, she has to do the work. I see a lot of women who've got body works done. They're walking around here manufactured. So, and that's cool. It's not what I like. I don't like nothing about that. I can't even respect it. With a degree in exercise science and nutrition, I can't respect that. That goes totally against what I do and my education. So I can't agree with that. So maybe someone who doesn't have proper education can agree with that, but it goes against my beliefs and my morals and values when it comes to fitness. And I'm sorry, but I've been living, breathing, and eating this thing since I was 11. So I'm not gonna. I want a natural woman. I want my woman. I want things to jiggle and wiggle, whatever the case may be. She don't have to be perfect, but I want her to feel natural.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm with a mannequin. You know, I don't want to feel that because it does not feel the same, because it's not an original part of her natural DNA. So that body part is not going to feel the same as with a woman who's not manufactured. A woman who's not manufactured is going to feel different from a woman who's manufactured. And so I want that woman who's non-manufactured, because she can build her body to look just as good as hers or even better, and it's real, and she's going to sustain it. This woman is not going to do the work because she's going off of what the different body parts be, but then her symmetry is terrible. She's got a nice ass, but her legs is about as big as my finger. That's bad symmetry. And so that's what you got to do the work. You can't escape it. Just like you said.
And after a few years, it's going to be time to get the work redone, and it's going to start and then you got to think about botched surgery. Like the Kim Kardashian lookalike just died because she had a botched BBL surgery. You know, and so it's just what it is, man. But I was talking last night, and talking about sports and talking about the work that they put in, the work that you have to put in, and not even with just sports, but anything.
Right.
Repetition is your friend. You got to fall in love with the mundane. The mundane is repetition, 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 repetition. You got to do it over and over and over and over again. You even thinking about, there are those people who are naturally gifted.
Right.
They're naturally gifted at something. They can go to it and they can pick it up right away. But if this naturally gifted person doesn't work on said gift, the result is going to be they're not going to get better. They're going to stay at whatever level they're at. They're going to stay at. One of my favorite sayings is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's always true. That's going to be true today. That was true yesterday, and it's going to be true tomorrow.
And B, golly, man, this is a good topic. Even a person with good genetics, if they don't do the work, that said person with bad genetics is going to catch them through their hard work and surpass them.
Yes.
And people think that doesn't. I'm like, yeah, good genetics is good to have, but you have to expound on those good genetics and capitalize off of them.
Max them out.
You have to max them out, man. So if you're not willing to do the work, it's a good friend of mine says, Sean, he was telling me, he said, Sean, I've been knowing you since we were 15 years old. He said, I was there from the beginning, and to see from 15 to where your body has transformed now, was like, that come from years of work. But what's even more impressive is the consistency.
Yes.
Think about how many days of consistency that you went in. And he told me this when I first opened up my business, my personal training business 8 years ago. He said, when I was second guessing myself, he said, all you need to do is follow your own formula. I was like, what are you talking about? My own formula. If you put into your business the consistency that you put into your body, it is impossible for it not to be successful.
Yes.
It was the most powerful thing I've ever heard somebody say. So I took that formula, put it into the business. 8 years later, still here. When most business kind of the first 3 to 5 years, it determines that most businesses don't last.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's like when I found out how long the average podcast is. Remember I told you? 7 episodes. 7 episodes.
That still blows my mind, man.
Yes.
That still blows my mind.
But you got to think about how people are today, man. They want it now. I want 1 million followers. I want 100,000 on Instagram. I want 100,000 on Twitter. I want 1 million views. I want 2 million subs. I want my 100K. That's what they want it, and they want it right now. One of the guys I watch, Coach Ray Gavis, he talk about it. He said, you put in the work, and he said by the time most people are going to find you, you're already going to be good. You've already been doing it. Like you'll see somebody blow up and you'll think like, man, they just blew up. No, you go back and look at their history, like, oh man, they've been putting in the work for a mighty long time.
Right.
It's been a while. And so one of the things about repetition and work, let me get some of these comments real quick. So Gisela, what's going on? Say when two people love each other, the only way the relationship will stay successful is when both partners continue to work together and accept each other for who they are and not what we think they should be in that relationship.
Who said that?
Gisela.
Oh, that's good. That's a good comment.
Yeah. See, Lynn, what's going on, Lynn? Hey, we back, Lynn.
What's up, bro? What's up, little bro? My little brother on here.
Yeah. See, repetition is the mother of all teachers. You have to master the mundane. You have to, Lynn.
Have to.
You say God is gracious that He gives everyone the same 24 hours in a day. Boom.
Absolutely.
And man. So the one thing with repetition, practice, and things like that is I learned that it's not just about, here. It's not just about here. It's also about your body. Right. Because once you get to a certain point, like I was listening to Barry Sanders. Right. Barry Sanders is one of the greatest running backs to ever pick up a football. Right. Some people might argue that he's the greatest to ever do it. And you're talking about moves on moves. Barry Sanders' moves had moves. I mean, that's what it is. It moves, lateral movement, his agility, his speed, his quickness. Right. But he talked about running, and he said that in certain ways, he said, I turn the brain off and I let the body react. And what does that come from? That comes from repetition. Because as you constantly doing it, you're not only training the mind and your eyes to see it, but your muscles learn how to do it the correct way. Exactly. Once you get it done the right way, your muscles remember you getting it the right way. That's why you put up shots and you remember, okay, I remember I put a little more on it this time. I put a little less on it from this angle. Right. And before you know it, you're not even thinking about it. You just come to like nothing. Right. And so that's what muscle memory, those things, those are the things that get you those results.
Exactly, man. And people don't, I love how you talked about the mind and body, and people don't understand the mind doesn't follow the body follows the mind. Yeah. That's why it's just as important as it is for us to train our bodies. It's just important for us to train ourselves mentally. Yeah. And that's why I tell people I meditate at least once or twice a day. I'm going to take out a little time so I can just meditate and just take my mind someplace else. But I'm also training my mind throughout the course of the day. But a lot of my mother's words come through. And I remember, I've told this story before when I was going up for the Ironman competition out of all the schools in the county. And my mom had already seen me winning a trophy, winning everything. And I didn't have that confidence. I was in 11th grade. I was able to do 220 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 230 push-ups in 2 minutes. I was in 11th grade. But my brother can attest that I did push-ups and sit-ups since I was 11. Every night before taking the shower, I would do up to probably 1,000 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups. I built myself up to that from 11 years old all the way up to 15, 16. So when we did the exercise in the ROTC department, when all the students stopped, I kept going. And I could hear Colonel Porter saying, "How many? Where is he at?" It was like he's at 150, and he's not even he's steady going. Yeah. It was like, what time is it? And he still had more time. So I stopped at probably maybe 220, and Colonel Porter looked at me. He's like, "Okay, I never seen." He said, "Son, my whole military career and my instructor career, I've never seen nobody do that many sit-ups in 2 minutes. And you're 15 years old. You gonna represent us at the Ironman competition." I was like, "No, I ain't." I mean, I didn't want the ROTC elective in the first place, but that's the only class I could take, and I didn't want to take it. Yeah. But it catapulted me into a whole different realm when it comes to fitness. So my thing about it is, and of course I went, it was like, this high school has never won the trophy ever in all of history. Went there, and I remember the day before, my mom, she was taking me out there. I remember what I ate. I ate a half a slice of wheat toast and probably a half a cup of orange juice because I was nervous. And so when I got in the car, my mom was looking at me and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Mom, I think I'm going to come out here and just being embarrassed." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Mom, I don't think I'm on." I said, "All the schools in the county how many high schools are in the county? You know how many kids gonna be out there? She was like, thousands. So what? And I was like, Mom, why? I said, Mom, I don't think I can do this. She's like, you gonna do it. She's like, Sean, you've been doing push-ups, boy. I done been seeing you doing push-ups and sit-ups. The average child ain't doing no push-ups and sit-ups at 11 years old, all the way up to 15 years old before they go to bed at night.
Yeah.
There's nobody gonna touch you out there. I said, how are you so sure? She said, because I've seen what you have done.
Mm-hmm.
Went out there and killed it. It was like nobody close and no margin, nowhere.
Yeah.
And so when I won the trophy, my mom said, God had already told me that you was going to win that trophy. And sometimes all you need is one person to believe in you. You don't need the support of the masses. Sometimes you need one person to tell you that they can see what you can't see. Yeah. But your work ethic is going to make you win this competition. I killed it, people.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Listen, let me get a few of these comments. Let's see. Melinda says neuroplasticity, the brain creates a new pathway based on consistent work. Absolutely.
Right.
You train you got to train the body along with the mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, it said Eddie Griffin in Double Take. He told Orlando Jones, he said, free your mind and your ass will follow.
I forgot about that movie, man.
What up, Dale? Dale said, I can do that many push-ups and sit-ups, but it takes me a year. I hear you. He say, what's your shirt say? That says F racism.
Yeah, F racism.
Yeah. He say winning mindsets equal winning culture, everyday life. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. That's why I like take a guy, for example, looking at Steve Kerr last night and the coaches who, from Darvingham to Steve Kerr,
right.
Eric Spoelstra, the coaches coaching in the NBA. And I talked about the pressure, the immense amount of pressure they are up under because they're constantly worried about the little details. We talking about little details because I told my girl, I say, do you know what the margin between winning and losing is? You know how thin it is? And she's like, no. I say it's see-through. I say that's the margin between winning and losing. And a small detail can turn a game. Small detail. Mm-hmm. So because you're in a results-based business, you're constantly under pressure. Because I told you, we seen where, like, just let's take it back, let's say 20 plus years ago. If I signed a 5-year contract as a coach to coach a team, I know most likely I'm going to coach those 5 years, and I may or may not get renewed on my contract based on my performance.
Right.
You knew at least you were going to get those 5 years. We just seen Urban Meyer sign a 7-year deal, and he was done 11 games into the first year. So that's an immense amount of pressure. Yeah. Immense amount of pressure. And so it's a results-based business. Just about everything we do in this life, it's about results. You have to produce. You have to have the results. If you're not producing on your job, if you're not producing in your relationship, if you're not producing in your life,
right.
It's going to be an issue. You can get fired on your job. Whoever you with, they'll break up with you, right. And then your life can go down the tubes because you're not putting in said work. Now, of course, there's things that happen that are out of your control from time to time, but for the most part, you create your own destiny.
Right, you do, man. And I mentioned before, I think it was on yesterday. I think I did a.
Look. He say, I need that shirt.
Hey, Dale, I'll hook you up, man. Just let me know what your size is, man. I'll have my shirt girl get on it for you.
Hey, and I ain't forgot, Dale. I got to send you our stuff for the stuff too.
So it's when I heard a dude, he was talking about it, but one of the things that he said, when it comes to just relationships, doesn't matter what type of relationship, whether it's a friendship or with a family member or a business partner or a wife or girlfriend, whatever, the husband, whatever. He said the number one reason why people the dynamic of the relationship goes south is because somebody has taken one person for granted. When you take people for granted, things perpetually happen throughout the course of that relationship.
Yeah.
And you end up losing that relationship because you've taken that person for granted. My mom used to always tell me, stay uncomfortable on purpose.
Yeah.
When you stay uncomfortable on purpose, it allows you to keep your edge. So I'm always, even if I'm comfortable, I'm going to keep myself uncomfortable so I don't slack. You know, you man, make sure you don't slack with your woman. Make sure you don't slack with your man. Make sure you don't slack on the job. Slack in your body. Slack in your eating. You want to make sure. How do you make sure that you don't slack? You don't take anything for granted. But the number one thing you got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
There's that word again. We can't get around. All success comes through consistency. If there's no consistency, there's no 20, 30, 45 year, 50 year marriage. If there's no consistency, there's no promotion on a job. You're not going to graduate with that college degree. I mean, if there's no consistency, how do you think your body is going to turn out?
Yeah.
Everything has to go through. It's like every team got to go through Kansas City. Everything got to go through consistency.
Yeah.
All things, the road to the Super Bowl when it comes to anything in your life actually has to go through consistency. You're going to have to meet at that stadium, baby. I mean, you're going to meet in the playoffs with consistency. So if you don't have no consistency, you will not get no results and you will not have any success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because consistency, when you can get to a point where what you want to get to a point where it's second nature. You want to get to a point where you can just pick up and go. You just pick up and do it. And if you really think about it, and us talking about these things, it's not hard. This is something that everybody can do, because all you think about it from in your day-to-day life, man, woman, or child, there's things you do on a consistent basis every single day.
Every day.
Especially men. Men are like this. We gotta have it out just like this.
Right.
So it's consistency. I got my routine. I know I'm gonna get up. Hey, I got to be to work at 7:00 in the morning. I'm going to lunch at 11:30. I'm getting off at 3:30. Then when I get off, whether I have something, some errands to run for that day, I go run those errands to take care of what I need to take care of. Okay, LeBron play at 8:00. I'm watching LeBron play at 8:00. I want to get a little sweat in, so hey, I'm doing my push-ups, do my sit-ups, do my crunches, or whatever I need to do. Take my bath, prepare my stuff for the next day, for the morning, and get everything ready for the next day. Go to sleep and repeat it all the next day. That's consistency. So what the little things you do consistently, you could take that and you can start implementing things in. And what I learned to do is one thing at a time. Right. One thing at a time. Don't go out and try to go get 5 different things and try to do a consistent 5 different things. Because what you're going to do, you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to overwork yourself. One thing at a time. Just like this podcast. I work this into my routine every week. Every week. You see this, if it's just once a week, twice a week, whatever, every single week, you're going to see Brandon Lampley was live on my Facebook, on my YouTube, on Twitter, wherever I stream to. Right. So now I have that consistently. It's down now. So that's, like you just said, it's all about consistency.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
Got some comments.
Yeah. And they'll say straight facts. And he say, I love this talk. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Dale. He say, me and my wife had Maui today. I set a goal a year ago and achieved it. That's it, Dale. You and your wife wanted to go to Maui. You set the goal, and now you guys are going to Maui. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, y'all gonna have a blast there. I've been to Maui. It's nice, brother. It's nice, man.
Yeah,
it is nice. It's nice over there.
Yeah, he said also consistently growing makes you better at everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, it does.
Yes,
it does. And it starts right here.
Oh yeah,
it's a decision. I woke up one day and I was like, and I looked in the mirror and I said, I don't like where I am right now. And that was it. That's all I needed. Now everybody can't do that. Everybody now is going to go cold turkey and just change it around like that. But that's what it takes. The mind is that's where it starts. I changed my mind. I changed my outlook, and then I started to change my habits. I started to change my routine. I started to change what I ate. I started to work out more. I started to walk consistently, and then that's where everything kind of really started to fall in place. As I started to change my life, it affected all areas. All areas. That consistency starts to reverberate throughout all areas
boy,
of your life.
You preaching, boy. You
But
preaching,
yeah,
dog.
yeah,
You preaching that word right there, man. That's serious talk, man. And my thing about it is, I've seen how your body is changing,
yeah.
and
Under 300 pounds.
under
I am under
300,
300 pounds,
under
man.
300
Might not mean
pounds
nothing to
right now.
you. Means something to me.
That's a
I'm
big
under
deal.
300, 296.
That's a big deal for Brandon to be up under 300 pounds now, man. We still got more work to do. But the thing about it is, man, the small wins come before the big wins.
Yes.
So I used to hear football coaches talk, and they always talked about small wins. You want the small wins before you get the big wins.
Yeah.
First, you're gonna take some losses, then you're gonna take some small wins, and then you're gonna get the big wins. But slow results, is the best results. And I tell people, you don't want a whole bunch of results in the beginning. You want gradual results as you go along, because you're going to gradually. I mean, as it gradually goes along, and you got in your routine, you're gonna keep that. You're gonna sustain that. But everything starts out a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And I tell people, I said, remember when was trying to build muscle, and I was trying to get, I wanted to get a little bit more bigger because I was super skinny. I was like, it's one of the hardest things to do. It's hard to gain weight when you're young. You got a fast metabolism.
Yes.
And then you're trying to gain weight and you're trying to gain muscle. So you're trying to do a double whammy, which is very, very, very hard. It's very challenging. I remember the days being in the gym frustrated as hell, being laughed at because I had a whole sheet. And then when I got my first trainer, he was like, no wonder your damn body ain't growing. You're trying to do 30 things in one workout. Man, that's I learned about overtraining. Just because you have the education, it's best to get the hand-on experience and to get with the old school cats who've been doing it forever. My thing is, my uncle told me this one time: if you ever want to get better at something, learn from somebody who's better than you at it.
Absolutely.
Let me retort. I'm going to repeat that. If you want to get better at something, learn from somebody who is better than you at it. That's how you get better, and that's how you get results. But you have to show up and you have to listen. Yeah. You have to humble yourself down. You have to become meek. I tell people all the time, yeah, I know I'm very educated when it comes to exercise science and all that stuff. But the biggest education I ever got was from the hands-on training by old school trainers whose body was defined age. I was mesmerized by that at 20 years old. I'm like, how is that person's, in my mind, I'm like, how is that person's body looking at that at their age? And I'm the young cat.
Yeah.
So that just made me even more intrigued of the human anatomy and how it changes. And it's not about the age, it's about what you efficiently and effectively do over a course of time, repeatedly, like Brandon said earlier, in repetitions and consistency. It does not happen without that work.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't happen without that work, man. Let's see what they'll say. They'll say one step on a staircase is not a staircase. That's
good, right?
That's
there,
what
bro.
it is. That's good, because that's and that's where you get discouraged,
right?
Because throughout my life, I really didn't get to a point of clarity until I hit 30 years old. 30 years old, came through with a baseball bat to the back of the knees, and it was like, yo, you woke up now, like another part of my brain turned on. Right. Because before that, though, not having direction, not having a path, and not knowing purpose, what is your purpose? It's another sermon that Dr. Miles Monroe had when he talks about purpose and learning what your purpose are, what your purpose is. He said, everything has a purpose, but every purpose is not known. And when you do not know purpose, you can abuse it. And then also when I heard that, it was powerful. So what happens is I don't know my purpose. So now I'm starting something here, and then I don't know the direction. I don't know what my end goal is necessarily. I have a plan, but it's whatever. I don't really know. So I'm just trying something to try. And now I'm like, well, I don't really know where this is going. So I'm done with this.
Right.
Next thing. And then it was next thing. And it was just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And it's like you got to get some model of consistency. You got to get something. Find out what your true interests are, find out the things you want to accomplish, and get obsessed with it. Yeah. I had no interest in working out. None. Working out is not something. It's not something. It was ingrained from my family, or consistently from friends, or even something I had done. It's not something that I will have no knowledge in this realm, and really had no want to really do it. But then I'm like, well, in order to get the result I want as far as my body is concerned, the roadblock is working out, and you can't go over it, you can't go around it, you got to go through it. And once I realized that, I'm like, well, then I have to train myself to want to do it, to get more interest in it, and once you do that, man, the sky's the limit after that, because the things that you hate, don't want to do, you don't like, hey, train the mind, say, hey, this is in the way of what I want to do. And I know that's one of my biggest motivators, to get to the result I want to get to. What is standing in my way? And once I figure out, okay, this is in my way, and this is what I have to go through to get the result I want. All right, well, you meet me today. It's me and you. I got to go through this wall.
Yeah, and that's the same way Brandon said that, and passionately he had that same passion when he came through the door. He said, "Sean, I'm ready. I'm in this thing all in. I ain't here for no games. I ain't here to play what I need to do, what I got to pay you." But he was just like that. And brother been that way the whole time. It's just like, and sometimes we may go through things a couple of times. Like I tell people, I said, listen, you'll see people, they'll start a workout routine, quit, start workout routine, quit, start workout routine, quit, join the gym, quit, join the gym, quit, join the gym. And one day they get an epiphany. And one day, going through all that 1 foot in, 1 foot out stuff, they just get to that point in their lives like, I got to go balls out. I got to be all in. I got to be all in or nothing. But it took being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and doggone tired to get to that point. But when you at that point, man, it's a crazy pivotal shift in your life and how things just change in a more positive direction, all because you got to the point of being sick and tired of being sick and doggone tired. And,
absolutely.
I mean, and you got to be serious about it.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Melinda said it. That's it. When purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. You're going to abuse.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Wow.
That's one of the things. One of your life's mission is to figure out.
I gotta write that down.
You gotta write that down.
I gotta write that down.
That's one of the things with life is like it's a lifelong journey, of course. But finding out what your purpose is puts everything into perspective. Finding out what your path is, finding out what you want to do, those things, it kind of puts everything into perspective, because I didn't realize how many people right now are doing things they do not want to do.
What?
And then this is the thing. This is the thing, Sean. This is the thing.
A lot.
This is the thing. And it's not because I was not necessarily I had to do this. No, they chose to do these things.
Right.
It was a choice.
It was a choice.
And they don't want to do it. So I'm like, if you got the energy to do something you don't want to do, what about the things you do want to do?
You want to do. Imagine how much energy you would have for that.
Yeah, imagine.
That's crazy.
They'll say Brandon is a dog. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, hey, trying to go from the pup to the full grown, man. It's a process. It's been a process. And I'm telling you, when I first started working out, coming here. This is where I come to work out. When I first started this, I knew off top, I was like, I can't commit to more than 1 day right now. 1 day is what I got. And now I'm ready to up the ante. I'm ready to up the ante now. Now, because I got it consistently. This is a part of it. This is what I want to do.
Right.
And now consistent. Because now outside of this, like I told you, I got my 10,000 steps a day challenge for this month. I'm 13 days in. I'm getting my 10,000 for the rest of this month. That's all. That's what I want to do. Doing my push-ups, the sit-ups. And now it's getting to a point where now it's consistency. Now I'm starting to see the change.
Right.
Like I put on one of my old shirts. Man, listen, I had took it and threw it on the bed, and I was like, dude, this shirt take up 20% of the bed. I was like, man, it's like it puts into perspective where I was versus where I am now. And I'm telling you, once you get just a little bit of result, once you get a little bit of that result from the work you put in and you see it, I mean, it's gonna do wonders for you. Because once I saw a little bit of result, I was like, man, I want more of that.
Right.
Now it's like you a fiend now. You're like
now,
you looking for your next hit.
Yeah,
That's what that's what I
Yeah.
want. I got to get that consistency, man.
Right. That's true, man. That's true, man. That's and that's what it's all about, man. So, because I tell people, once you see it, and you know, okay, this thing is attainable. Oh, I got this. You're gonna do more, and you're gonna do more and do more, because fitness. The more you do fitness, the more you get in return. So I mean, and I tell people, you're gonna have to in fitness. You got to make sacrifices. You got to make sacrifices to go for what you want. If you're not willing to make the sacrifices, change can't be implemented.
Yeah,
it's darn near impossible. And how a goal is accomplished is through commitment and sacrifice.
Yeah,
and a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I tell you all the time, I was like, there's a lot of things I've missed on. But I'm committed to this. I even put fitness before business. And I'm gonna tell you why I put fitness in before business. If I'm walking through a door, it's like I'm staying anywhere I go to, and I got that TaylorMade logo on the back of my shirt, and people are like, okay, you the TaylorMade guy, blah, blah, blah. When they see me up close in person, like, damn, they're gonna respect the image.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna expect the brand, because how my body looks is a walking brand of what TaylorMade training is
you're
about.
a billboard. You're a walking billboard.
And if this isn't darn near close to excellent or close to perfect, no one's going to even respect me when I walk through a room. When I walk through a room and people see me, it automatically gets their attention. You can't help but not see, like, man, that dude, man, that dude got a great build on him. So what that does, they already respect you from the work that you put in. They see the body, blah blah blah. Now you got their attention. They'll listen to anything you got to say.
Yeah,
And then most people that I talk to are half my age. 33, 34, 35, 36. And then when I tell them my age, their mouths drop. But it's a blessing from God, so people can see that fitness is the fountain of youth.
yes,
Your body can define your number, your active health age number, your active health age number, that cannot defy age, because that's your actual age. But your internal health age number, where your body, based off how you look, people can't tell how old you are. Let's say if they just cut my head off, and took off all my clothes and I ain't got no head, they can't see any grays or anything like that. You definitely don't know how old that person is.
Yeah.
So your body can defy age. You just have to get consistent and turn back the internal health age clock from within, because the older you feel on the inside, the more your heart's got to work. The more your kidneys, your liver's got to work. The more older your body feels on the inside, because there's people that are 30 years old, but internally they're 60.
Yes.
There are people who are 40 years old, but internally they're 80. And see, when your internal health age clock is way behind the 8 ball, now everything has to work harder. Now, heart attack comes into play. Stroke comes into play. Diabetes comes into play. Cancer is not started from a thing. Cancer is started from something that's been lack thereof. Cancer is almost in everything out here now. But if a person has been highly consuming something at a young age, what it does, and then they're not fighting or warding nothing off through exercise or properly eating, what's going to happen?
Yeah. And you said something, and we're going to end it on this,
right,
and then we're going to go into our last thoughts.
Right.
Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
It's about sacrifice.
Right.
One of the biggest things that you're going to have to sacrifice, no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do, and you're trying to get the desired result that you want, you're going to have to sacrifice time.
Yeah, right.
Time. And when you really think about it and you break down time in the day, you'll realize you waste a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Time is wasted. They say youth is wasted on the young. Time is wasted, man. We waste time. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have to sacrifice said time. So whether you want to get an hour activity in, and you'll hear somebody who want really to change. And I know you don't heard it, Sean. People come in here and they talk to you. Well, I want to change my life and I want to do this and blah blah blah. He's like, well, you take an hour and a half, and you say, well, I don't think I really have time. I don't have a lot of time, and you go evaluate the time that they spend. And you're like, hold on, this hour and a half right here. Right. What are you doing? Right. Scrolling on the phone on Instagram and TikTok. You could be doing what you're supposed to do. You wasting time going to this place, going to that place. You wasting time over here with this person, wasting time over there with that person. You wasting time doing something that's not productive to what you're trying to do to get the result that you want. So all you got to do is take that, figure out the time, because you're going to have to sacrifice time. There's no way around that. Time. You're going to have to take the time to put in the work to get the results that you want.
That too. Amen, bro. That's a good one, man. You did that right there, B. That was perfect. Like, bam, whammy. You ain't got to say nothing else, man. Say less, dude. You just killed it. You just ended it right there.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Dale say, I'm out, brothers. All right, Dale. All right, man. Maui picks coming soon. Get them sizes and colors. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. He said, I need that shirt. Okay, all right, bro. You.
Hey, man. Hey, enjoy Maui, man. Enjoy Maui, brother. They got some good food over there, too.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your final thoughts?
My final thought, man, is this. I'm going to keep it simple, short, and sweet. And I said it throughout the segment me and Brandon was talking. You're not entitled to nothing. You're only entitled to what you work hard for. Yeah. So keep that in mind, man. And all results of success comes through, the role of consistency. I mean, you got to go through consistency in order to get results, in order to have any success. That's my final thoughts.
It's not a gift, it's a result. Meaning that there's no shortcut, there's no, some simple way, there's no new way. I noticed this, and I think this started with the millennials' parents. So was that the Gen Xers? They kind of started a little bit. Millennials have took it to a new level, and then Gen Z took it somewhere it's unrecognizable. But wanting to change things, and that they were all things that were always done a certain way. They want to redefine it, change it, and do it another way. Mm-hmm. But I say to people all the time, the old ways still work. Right. No matter what you think about them, no matter how archaic they are, or they're old, or you a dinosaur, the old ways still work. And guess what? The old ways are how we got to where we are right now. The old ways is why we in the studio right now. Right. I got this internet, I got this camera. The old ways work. That's why we here where we are right now, because of the old ways. Trying to redefine something, do it new, or trying to do this new age. All you're looking for is a shortcut to get the same outcomes somebody else who put in the work the old way got. Right. So never forget that. Remember that. The old ways still work. All you got to do is get out there and put in the work. That's it, man. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hey, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias. You follow him, Sean Taylor. Tailor Made for You Training. Driven Not Motivated 21 on Instagram. What's your other ones?
TikTok Taylor Made 2169. My business Facebook page, Tailor Made Training for You. Oh, Brandon already said. Oh, and then my website, tailormadetrainingforyou.net. So
.net. That's it. So, man, hey, I appreciate everybody, man. Until next time, we talk to you guys later, man. Peace out, man. Peace out.